the future of OC Tanner success regarding production, product quality, reduction in manufacturing costs lies in one word: Mexico. Good morning, guys. My name is Woodrow Weaver, and these are my colleagues:
Sergio Garcia,
Luis Salazar,
and Stephanie Loza.
There we go. OC Tanner is a company. We're here on behalf of OC Tanner. OC Tanner makes quality products for quality people. OC Tanner is a leading manufacturer and employee recognition awards. Whether you've been at a company for 1 year or 20 years, OC Tanner has got you. They can customize, personalize, they can make anything that your employee would to please an employee. For the past 15 years, OC Tanner has been producing in China under Epic. It's a product label where they're manufacturing watches. It's been so successful that in early 2015, they decided to launch 3 new product labels: Imbu, Rioli, and Taki. These products range from fine dinnerware to outdoor essentials. So, the customers, the new product line went well with the customers. However, executives for OC Tanner, the cost and the quality just wasn't there for them. So it fell under strict scrutiny. They came up with 3 major challenges. How does OC Tanner decrease cost while they increase quality? Second, we want to, as a team, how do we create an efficient schedule that will cater to OC Tanner's needs? And while we're doing that, we're going to assess the global capability of our company with the American trade market. So right now, we manufacture in China, our watches and our 3 other lines. However, we want to take a China plus 1 approach. So we're going to keep some manufacturing in China, but move some from China to Mexico. So to do that, Epic, why fix something that isn't broke? So Epic is succeeding, they're doing very well, so we're going to keep them in China. However, the other 3 brands the other 3 product labels are just being established. So right now we feel like we have room to bring them to China, or to bring them to Mexico for a goal to reduce costs and increase product quality. And to improve on this point, I'm going to pass it over to my colleague, Sergio.
thank you. On the next couple slides, I'm going to show you exactly how we found out that Mexico will be a cheaper cost and better quality. As you can see, right here, you can see that currently the importing landing cost for 1 product of OC Tanner is $551. But the total cost ends up being $1123 after everything's put into consideration, giving us a gross margin of true cost of only 37%. Now, if we look at Mexico with making some assumptions with the many sources we looked up, we gathered up together, we ended up finding out that import landing cost is a bit higher for Mexico, $716. Now, it is a bit higher for import landed cost, but overall, the total cost of the product is a bit lower at $1003, giving us a gross margin of 44%. Now, you're probably wondering how we came up with these assumptions, correct? Well, I'm going to go step by step on each one on how we came up with that exact assumption on that percentage to multiply to the Mexico cost. As you can see, for import landing cost, we did 130% of the current cost for China. First thing we have to consider is shipping costs. We understand that currently we're just shipping straight to the US and into Utah. Well, now we're going to be shipping into Mexico and from Mexico to Utah. So we went ahead and did that assumption. We went ahead and used our sources and figured out the average cost of shipping to Mexico is going to be around $3,800. Then we went ahead and found a transportation company who would do the shipping at an average of $16.42 with 50 cents. We realized that, yes, that is true, but they're different sizes. A container shipment is only 40 foot, and a truckload can be up to 53-foot container. So when we did that, we realized that we had to assume that they're both the same size to find out the average cost of everything. So we went ahead and did an analysis and found out that the total cost, if it was possible to have a container of 53 foot, would be $5,035, with the same cost of $16.42, which would add a 32% extra cost to ship all the way to Mexico and into Utah. Now, that would give you a total cost of change of 132%. Now, we understand that, but we also have to look into the labor costs, the duties, the tariffs, and everything else. So when we looked ahead and looked at the total labor costs, we realized that Mexico has a stable labor cost and the economy is not growing that much. In consideration to China, which the economy is currently growing and labor cost is going up. So we need to consider that when we make our final decision. So when doing that, we realized that we could reduce a 4% of our total cost to make it 128%. Now we also have to include the duties and tariffs that we're also going to put into that, which adds the extra 2% that brings us into the total cost of 130%. Next, we're going to talk about the safety stock. In the case that we were given, we realized that currently some products are having issues with defects, breakage, quality is not being there. So we're having a lot of returns. So currently the current inventory and carrying cost is 24 to 25%. And being that high is also the reason that it's so far away to ship the product here that it causes a lot of lead time, which means we have to carry more inventory to make sure that the customers do receive their products when they're expecting them. Now we move to Mexico. Mexico is a way shorter lead time. We can do it in trucking all the time. We don't have to use shipment, which means that we can lower it down to 2 to 3 days. With that being said, we can go back to what OC Tanner is expecting, a 12% inventory and carrying cost, and give them what they're expecting. And give the customers as well when they want their items. Now we're going to talk about expedited air freight. Now currently in China, we have a 5-cent expedited air freight. The reason for that is because China is so far away, if we don't have the shipments, if we don't have the product on time, we must ship it through air to make sure the customer gets it on time. Now, if we are in Mexico, we no longer have to do that. The current air express shipment to China, from China to Utah, is an average of 5 to 7 days based on OC Tanner's perspective. We can lower it down to 2 to 3 days, once again, because we are located in Mexico, which is a way closer location than China. Then we're going to go into coordination costs. Coordination cost stays the same overall. Reason for that is because we still have to coordinate everything with our agents, partners, and everything, so we're still going to incur that cost no matter what. Next, we're going to go into travel costs. Travel costs to get our employees or executives to go visit our manufacturing to make sure that the quality is met there. As you can see, travel cost stays the same. Now you're wondering, why does it stay the same, correct? As you can see, flight time, almost twice as long. Price, also twice as long. So how are we getting those answers? The reason we are getting these answers at the moment is because due to the fact that Mexico is a lot closer, we can get our executives to go there much more to make sure that our quality is being met all the time. So instead of having 3 visits a year, we can do 6 visits instead, doubling the time and having our executives meet that part twice as much. Then we're going into quality costs. Once again, we still want to consider the same quality and keep the same quality material in that production, so we are going to keep the same quality cost. As well as distribution costs to get the product to the customer, it's going to be the same cost no matter what, because we're still shipping it to the customer from Utah. Finally, you're wondering the total cost. Why did the total cost change so much? As you can see, the total cost here is $11.23, and the reason for that is because when we read the case, we understood that the customer, the current OC Tanner is having many defects on some products. They stated that one product has 66% defects. Now, we didn't use a 60% defect ratio, but we did analyze that and average a 33%, being that not all products will have defects, but some will have defects. So we have to put that into consideration and put also all the problems and quality procedures we're having with China. So with that, we had a 30% increase in cost, making it $11.23, which is much higher than Mexico's quality at $10.03. Not only that, but because it's in Mexico, we can visit it a lot quicker, we can be there much faster to make sure that when we want something, it can be produced for us. Which gives us an improvement of 44% at the bottom, better than 37%, increase in 7% of gross margin. Next, I'm going to pass it over to Luis, who's going to explain a little more on how we gain our logistics and time procedures.
So this kind of all goes out the window if we don't understand why we chose Mexico as one of our final production suppliers. This decision is made using a weighted average index. This weighted average index focuses, we chose 4 of the top priorities for OC Tanner. These top priorities include cost effectiveness, quality, economic stability, and ease of transportation. Cost effectiveness, weighted at 50%, is the heaviest of the bunch. We want to focus on OC Tanner's bottom line at the end of the day. Quality is at 30%. We want to keep OC Tanner's quality of product at its current quality and or better. And finally, economic stability. This is weighted at 10%, but there's a lot of data that goes behind this 10%. If you see in your executive summaries at the front of the packet, there is a breakdown of every country's labor, inflation, GDP. All those factors break into economic stability. And then finally, ease of transportation. This is also weighted at 10% because ease of transportation is both ways. We want to focus, again, like how Sergio said, how our executives will get to Mexico and how our products will come back from Mexico. So keeping them on the mainland in North America with us is a huge advantage. So here's just an example of one of the examples of the weighted average index for cost effectiveness. Using the direct labor rates provided in the case study and a little bit of information from the export of goods in the weighted average based cost, we have we have Indonesia leading the way here at number 5. The ranking is from 1 to 5. 1 is unsatisfactory and 5 is optimal. Another example is quality. We see here, based on merchandising exports and foreign direct investment, we see Japan is leading the way with 5. Now, because this is weighted at 30%, this doesn't actually count into the fact that Japan has very high labor costs. So, with all these factors weighted evenly with the rankings, we found that Mexico overall leads the way with 4, almost half a point from the following country. So now that we've chosen Mexico as our supplier, we need a way to get our raw materials from China to Mexico for production. The most optimal solution will be from Hong Kong to Rosarito Terminal using oceanic transport. Based on our sources, we found that average lead time is 14 to 16 days, and it's the most cost-effective solution, and that's why it's optimal for oceanic transport. But our optimal solution isn't only based on cost effectiveness. As you can see here, we chose trucking instead of rail because of the lead time. We want to mitigate some of that lead time that we lost from China to Tijuana for production and make that up in lead time from trucking to Tijuana all the way up to Salt Lake City. Now, of course, this is based on some assumptions. The first assumption being that OC Tanner have a team for planning and targeting appropriate lead time with appropriate slack. The second is maintaining a strong relationship with our transportation companies and our suppliers to make sure that we're keeping track of our products and that they arrive on time. And in any problems that arise, we can attack them immediately. And these two factors will alleviate some of the pressure from OC Tanner's forecasting for demand so that we can reduce the amount of stockouts almost entirely. To sum this all up, I'm going to hand this over to Stephanie.
Hello. Well, what does all this mean? What is all this data analysis, right? Well, first things first, instead of calling it China Task Force, I say we call it China-Mexico Task Force, just for our plan. I'm going to give you an overview of what my colleagues have already given to you. So basically, we're just taking advantage of the low material costs in China, ocean translated over to Mexico, taking advantage of the low wages there, and then shipping it right up north to the US. With every plan, there's implications. The top 2 implications that we found are location, because we're penetrating a new country. We're also having that initial investment in our manufacturing in Mexico. And not only that, we also have to, OC Tanner has to look at the permits and et cetera in order to be able to do that manufacturing company in a new country. Also political instability. Now that our President Donald Trump is in office, will NAFTA go away, and will that border tax be implemented in our goods? Which is a huge concern since we're working with foreign countries, both China and Mexico. So if we go back to what Sergio pointed out in this graph, we see that Mexico has a pretty steady rate of labor costs, meaning that this, for OC Tanner, it's easier for them to forecast these labor wages. On opposed to China, we see that it's rapidly increasing. Those labor wages are increasing, and it makes it harder for OC Tanner to kind of forecast those labor wages. So that's on that part. So this kind of leverages the implications that we had before. So back to our President Donald Trump. So if he does end up implementing this tax on our foreign goods, we could always source from Canada, Mexico, or the US, eliminating that tax and taking advantage of that NAFTA agreement. If he does eliminate NAFTA, then we can go on. Well, what would anybody do if NAFTA got eliminated, right? Everybody would be in a little bit of a struggle. But we can count on a reduced transportation cost because we have put our manufacturing closer to home, and we are ensuring that quality, which in turn is lowering that cost that we are taking, that OC Tanner is taking on when product isn't up to par with the quality that OC Tanner wants. So for our conclusion, the zone of opportunity. Basically, OC Tanner should take advantage of these competitive advantages that every country is offering. This puts them on another level from other companies. Everybody's taking that turn from going to China, but according to our sources, labor costs now in Mexico are being leveled out with China as well. So moving closer to ensure quality, this would eliminate those trans-Pacific flights on employees, and like we said, would double those flights to Mexico and be able to ensure that quality that OC Tanner would want. Not only that, but income terms. Trying to find out what works best for OC Tanner, but not only that, also taking on an income term that benefits the customers, because at the end of the day, that's what OC Tanner is worried about, their customers, and ensuring quality. Because after all, OC Tanner not only helps accomplish, but it also appreciates hard work. And they also do quality work for quality people. So with that, we'd like to thank you and open up the floor to any questions and concerns.
Just a clarification, I think I might have missed it when you mentioned it, but a lot of your analysis was on the shipping time, the shipping costs, and so forth. And you basically were saying that if it's going from China to Mexico and then Mexico to the U.S., you could skip that whole first part and just go Mexico to the U.S. Where do they get the assumption that it's going from, where it's stopping in Mexico? Why isn't it coming into L.A. or into Seattle?
So to clarify, and this is a big point that we missed, this strategy is implementing final production into Mexico. Final production means we can take our raw materials into Tijuana and there have a warehousing facility that's already calculated on our incurred costs in Mexico, and a warehouse and a distribution center that carries itself from Mexico to the U.S.
In addition, I like to add to that. So also going to Long Beach, we want to take advantage of that low labor cost in Mexico. So if we transferred over to Long Beach, we'd have to go down and then right back up to the United States. So we thought we'd just directly ship to Mexico and go straight up instead of doing that other way.
It will eliminate leg time and cost.
Mm-hmm. And was the labor costs in Mexico was cheaper than in China?
Yes.
The labor cost is cheaper than China because of the graph you're showing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you.
Good.
Lots of questions.
So will OC Tanner be in charge of sourcing raw materials and then shipping, like they're in charge of the whole system starting in China with raw materials, sending it to Mexico for that final production, and then it's not like they'll take that whole thing on themselves?
Yes, sir. This is under the assumption that OC Tanner will be responsible for that, but this, of course, could be open to 3PLs and 4PLs.
We could also go through, they're working with Cloud right now to source materials into China, so maybe we can work with that company to source materials from China to Mexico too.
Do you pay to duties, taxes, and so forth? If you've got China sourcing and Mexico sourcing now, and you're going to have double fees and tariffs,
yeah,
and
we have double
taxes
duties,
and
and
custom issues?
Yeah, we include that into our assumption whenever we did because of the labor cost, we lowered it down to 4% of what it is, so it's 128%. But because we understand that there is duties and tariffs and extra taxes that we have to pay for, we included an extra 2% that will include that extra amount that was not, that will cover the extra 2 duties and all that.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.